Welcome to The Rebel Rebel. It's a podcast for creative rebels and entrepreneurs. I'm your host, Michael Dargy. In every episode, we look for truly unique and interesting guests who have said, often literally, fuck it to the status quo and have just gone on their own way. One thing's for sure is that it's never easy, it's always challenging, and these rebels wouldn't have it any other way. Look for the links to everything we talk about in the show notes on our website at therebelrebelpodcast.com. Welcome to the show. Welcome to The Rebel Rebel, and I'm in the cSPACE studio with my neighbor. It's Cecile Albi. How you doing?
Very well, thank you. Thanks for having me here.
Oh, you're very welcome. Cecile is, I'm just going to talk about you like you're not even here for a second, an amazing artist who's always fills our halls at cSPACE with the most amazing paintings. And I'm so happy to have you on the show today.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure.
So part of the idea about this show is to learn about people, artists, creative rebels, entrepreneurs that are sort of doing their own thing. And I wonder if you could just take us back in time a little bit so that we can learn a little bit about you and what you're doing.
Okay. I guess I've been an artist my whole life.
Nice.
Always been creating in some form or another. Visual art I've been doing professionally my whole working career. I started out as a graphic designer. Gave that up about 8 years ago now and decided just to take the leap of faith and go to my true love and paint. So I have a background in fine arts from University of Manitoba and advertising art from there as well.
Wow.
From Red River College.
Okay.
And yeah, it's been a really neat adventure. Good exploration.
That's wild. So you came from the commercial art side and, but you've always been drawn to the fine arts? Yeah,
I started out with a Bachelor of Fine Arts. So we explored in fine arts, you explore everything. And people were always telling me, to make, your bread and butter, do something more commercial. So that's why I got into the advertising and the graphic design. And I've always found it fairly rewarding. It's challenging, but there's certain limitations to it.
Yeah.
One profound statement by someone that taught me was that to be a really good graphic designer, you have to be even that much more creative to come up with something great if you have so many stipulations on you for every project you do.
Yeah.
And it's true in a sense, and it really pushes you to work with very minimal things.
Right. Yeah, because those guardrails are so firmly established. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
How can you play within that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So with that in mind, so I worked in that, and then finally I just I decided to go and paint, and I'm so happy I did.
Yeah.
It's completely worth it, and I'm doing what I love to do full time, and it's scary as hell.
Yeah.
Because you just never know, where your next sale is going to be. Just the monetary part about it.
Right.
Is scary.
Can you help me understand better how you go from, a paycheck to just jumping in and going for it? Like, what does that look like?
What I find is I really try to block the whole idea of money out. And it it's really interesting. If I spend money somewhere, it seems to come back to me somewhere else.
Right.
And so I just keep it going and just keep doing what I love to do. And somehow you never know. Somebody walks in your door, they love a painting, and wham, they buy it.
Wow. So
it's just, it's one of those things that I really believe in that, really believe in a fate.
Yeah.
And that if you're doing what you love to do, the universe will let it happen. We'll let it unfold the way it wants you to. So if you're always fighting it and you're feeling sick about it, then I think then that might be a sign too, right? You have to kind of keep going with what you love.
Oh, that is so cool. It's funny because I often feel the same way because somehow it all just works out.
It all works out.
Yeah.
And it doesn't necessarily mean being successful is making tons of sales all the time or having steady commissions and whatnot. But being successful is when you're really, truly happy and contented, I think.
Oh my God, that's so inspiring. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. So I just keep on doing what I love to do. And for me, painting, just sitting in front of the canvas, can completely just take me away and into another world almost. And time flies like nothing. Like 3 hours can fly by like 10 minutes.
Wow.
So
were you always like from the time you were little to now, like just wired for art? Like, was there other opportunities that you were thinking of? Did you want to be like a doctor when you grew up? Like,
yeah, no, just art.
Wow.
Art was always the thing.
Single focus, eh?
Yeah, it was, not knowing exactly what kind of art or where I'd end up with, but that's where the commercial end just kind of fell into place.
Nice. So this cSPACE sessions, but it's also part of the COVID sessions because we're in this land right now.
Right.
When people go into their Wayback Machine and listen to this decades down the road, normally you would have had an exhibition during the Stampede. Mm-hmm. Is that a big thing for you during the year to have those?
Stampede is huge.
Yeah.
It's such an amazing show. You get so many art lovers. There's probably about 40,000 people that see my work coming through there.
Holy.
For the artists there, that's their big revenue machine, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully that comes back next year. What have you got coming up?
So coming up at the end of August, we have a show called Back in the Saddle.
Yeah.
And that's 10 of us from the
great.
Stampede are in the show.
Oh, that's awesome.
And it's kind of nice. And there's a definite sense, there's a certain type of energy you get from being in a show like that. Yeah. And a lot of camaraderie with other artists. So you get to know them over the years, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh,
and
that's good.
Lots of the artists will be in attendance.
Yeah.
So all of us will be there, standing there with our work.
Yeah.
All the COVID measures will be in place.
Yeah.
And we're really taking note of that.
Great.
Masks and whatnot. So.
And where's it going to be?
It's going to be at the New Horizon Mall.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, just outside of Calgary on the way to Airdrie.
Yeah, that huge structure by Cross Irons.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really nice venue. It's got excellent exhibition.
Yeah, it's got a huge natural light. It's it's nice. And when is it?
That's starting on the 28th of August. It's a 4-day show.
Oh, nice. And I'm not shilling for you here because I don't want people to think that that's what this is about. But I get to walk by your art every day, and I always I have a new experience with your art every time I see it.
Oh, fabulous.
Which is really, really cool. And so if you're in the neighborhood, and we're in north of Marteloup in the old King Edward School, come up to the 4th floor and you can actually see your work hanging in the halls.
Yeah, that's right.
Right? They can do that now.
They can.
What else do you have coming up?
I'm going to go on holidays.
Yay!
Heading out to Manitoba to see the family.
Oh, that's nice.
As far as, there's art walk coming up in the fall.
Yeah.
And then just painting and doing my own promotions.
That's great.
Hopefully we can do some kind of shows in the building again, but that might be a little while. Those are big events. So yeah.
True. So can we talk a little bit about your art? Because it's different, and I'm not an art reviewer or a critic using the magic fingers, but it's very interesting to look at. I'm wondering if you could sort of help me share with people what the vision is behind your style. Yeah.
My art is abstracted impressionism. So it's impressionistic with the identifiable subject matter. It's landscapes predominantly, nature and trees and whatnot. And it has a unique style, which is my own, that's evolved over time.
Yeah.
And I call it refractionism.
Yeah.
And it's the word refraction, the light source, and ism is the impressionistic side of it.
Yeah.
And so refractionism put together, it some people refer to it as looking like stained glass kind of mosaic. Yeah. Some of my newer pieces are getting a little more away from the rigidness of some of the shapes. Yeah. There are lots of texture, brushstroke, foiling.
Oh, wow.
Some like gold leaf and stuff like that in there.
The thing that sort of draws me to a lot of your art is duality is maybe too generic a term, but with the idea that you're looking at a recognizable landscape, but in the next moment you're looking at this fractured landscape. It seems to me that there's stuff going on below the surface, that it's not just representative of the place that you're looking at.
That's great. I'm happy to hear that.
But it's kind of the feeling that you might have had you're translated through that lens.
That's right. Yeah. It's not necessarily about the reality of it or depicting the truth, the reality of it. Art is a lie that tells the truth. Oh, and that's a quote by one of the masters. Yeah. And I love that quote because, it's my work is more about depicting, presenting the actual truth of how you feel in a moment of being somewhere. Wow. And it evokes those emotions and feelings from people, hopefully, when they look at it. Yeah. Yeah. So, and then when people say it makes them feel this way or that way, I'm so happy to hear those kinds of things because that's what my work is more about, is the feeling and the emotion, the aesthetic value that it has in your. Wow.
Well, that's great. Well, you're doing a hell of a great job.
Thank you. Thank you. It's, it's a lot of fun. There's lots of different unexpected color and shapes and things like that. Yeah.
Do you, this is going to be a dumb question maybe, but do you plan it or does it just happen on the canvas?
It evolves on the canvas. I have a general idea of what I want to paint. If it's going to be a cluster of trees, a forest, a faraway landscape or something like that, or all of the above. Right. It just evolves kind of on there. And what I've found is kind of an interesting concept about my work is that everything has this rhythmic patterning that repeats itself over and over, from the smallest shapes and sizes to the largest universes. And my work, you'll see in it, there's this refractionism that happens, and it happens over and over, from small little areas to larger pieces. And each of my paintings are captions of this idea, this concept. Oh, neat. And this evolved. I was starting to do it on my own without really knowing what I was doing. And then over time, speaking with lots of people coming by my work and having a look and commenting, it really resonated with me where someone said to me, he was a neuroscientist, and he said, "Oh my God, it's like this cluster of trees look a lot like the synapses in your brain." Whoa. And just the way they kind of branch off and fork, and then just different colors and things like that. And that really kind of gave me the shivers.
Wow. No kidding.
And I thought, there's something innate that is driving me to kind of paint this way. Yeah. Sometimes I really, really try to venture away from it. It still comes back.
The muse has got you firmly by the scruff of the neck.
And so I say, okay, well, what the heck? I'm just going to go with it. Keep going with it. There's something happening. So
that's great.
So it's kind of fun.
What's next, do you think? Can you predict an evolution to your art, or perhaps a branch? Maybe you're going to try something different, like you get into performance art or something. I don't know. Yeah, well, and that's, I was actually thinking about performance art. Not that I'm going to really do it, but I think I am doing it. Yeah. Because I'm just never finished. And it's, for me, it's really in the process of creating that I love. And so I'm not wanting very much to do something over and over again. Nice. It has to change. And just like this whole concept that I've been thinking about, it's kind of the process of the art as well. In the process of the art, it's assembling and dismantling. Yeah. And the continuance, just like life, kind of. Yeah. Oh, that's nice. And you've got a huge piece out front here that's a work in progress. So you've actually hung an unfinished work. That's right. I'm so lucky to be able to do that. It's 6 feet high by 4 or 8 feet wide. And it's something that it's going to take me a little while to finish it. But in its own, it's quite colorful, and the colors are quite pretty and captivating. So I thought, well, I'll do that. And so I will be dropping a canvas or cloth down and painting from there. Cool. Whenever I get a chance to. Your art is not shy. It's pretty bodacious. It's big and interesting. Oh, well, thank you. Yeah. It's emotional. I think there's lots of emotion and energy in it when you look at it visually, but also when I'm creating it. Well, to be able to see sort of a work in progress is fun. Like, so again, I'm going to pimp the cSPACE for a second here and be like, come up and check this out and see it evolve over time.
Oh, thanks.
Just like humanity.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's great.
Right.
What are 5 things that people need to know?
Chill out.
Nice.
Just relax about things and try not to be too judgmental.
Like it.
Judging is so harmful to people, and everybody has their own perspective.
Yeah.
So try to look at things from that person's eyes. I think it's really, really important. There's been so many, even just with the COVID thing, there's been so many debates about, what to do, what not to do, and people shaming each other and all that. And I think the shaming is such a judgment, and that's coming from one perspective. And it's really kind of sad how everybody's how sometimes people turn on each other.
Yeah,
so
it's true.
I guess that's number 2. Do what you love to do.
Nice.
It's really important to follow your heart, because I think that's where the truth comes. And truth, and for me, that's probably a 4th thing, is truth is so important, to be truthful, like in any way that you can, like and when things come out in a truthful way, it actually helps people grow.
Yeah.
And sometimes truth is hard. You have to be courageous to tell the truth.
Yeah.
But there's ways of telling the truth that are kind and empathetic, and say it from a kind perspective and who you're saying it to.
Yeah.
Right. Have fun.
Yay.
Fun is very important.
Yeah.
Laugh as much as you can.
That's great.
I love laughing. So.
Oh, that's so good. Okay. So let's jump off on that. Like, where do you find your laughs the most?
Usually with, people talking, conversation. I find laughs with my family.
Yeah.
I like really kind of silly, idiotic things, just that are kind of nonsensical.
Yeah.
Playing with words. Creativity is a form of play physiologically.
True.
And so to create better, it's important to be in a state of happiness and playfulness. So I think it really helps me. At least the kind of work I do comes from a place of happiness.
Do you listen to music when you work? Is that part of it, or is that?
Well, sometimes I do. Yeah. But not always. If I have something that's really distracting me, like some of the machinery outside. Yeah. They're hammering all, constantly.
Drown them out.
Then I'll look to put some music on. But since COVID, I had my headphones at home and I can't find them, so I haven't been playing anything right now at the studio. But
gotcha.
But music, it does, and it actually, music can change my mood. So I have to be very careful with that as well. Sometimes it's really good. I like EDM.
Oh, nice.
So it's just very energizing. Yeah. So if I find that I'm kind of sluggish and tired and sort of maybe bored, it just kind of gets me going.
And because of the rhythm, like I find it sometimes when I'm doing art stuff or coding or things that need my left brain to be distracted, I need my clinical side to be distracted with something. Right. I'll put on EDM because it's just like, it's busy, over there, measuring beats and having fun, where my creative brain can just, let loose.
Oh, interesting.
And do stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Bifurcating.
Yeah, that's neat. That's really neat.
Yeah. Are you a big reader?
Not a big reader, no.
No? Yeah, Netflix? Do you have any guilty Netflix habits?
Yeah, I've been watching a fair amount of Netflix lately. Yeah. The series things were good. I like all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Like all over the spectrum.
Like for anywhere from like Heartland, Anne and Green Gables to Vikings and.
Oh, wow.
So
that's opposite ends of the spectrum.
Yeah. Yeah. But there's I guess a time and place for everything where
for sure.
I like all kinds of stuff.
Awesome. Do you have any pets?
I do. I have a dog.
What kind of dog?
Her name is Winter, and she's a Sheltie.
Oh, so nice.
The prettiest little Sheltie dog.
And smart and troublemaker?
Yeah, she's quite headstrong. Yeah. She has me wrapped around her paw. And she's super smart and very yappy, though. Oh, yeah. Very, very yappy.
She got stuff to say.
Yeah, she does. Yeah.
Well, that's funny. So if you could give any advice to, we can do this. I call them rebels in waiting, which is, people that are not quite ready to take the leap, or they're just about to take the leap and they need to hear that one thing that might help them out on their journey. And maybe this is going back in time and telling yourself that it's okay to take the plunge and do what you love. Mm-hmm. What advice would you give to anybody wanting to pursue their passion?
I think it's don't wait. And that doesn't mean you have to dump everything and just take the complete leap of faith, but take a little time every day to start it. Just start it, like start planting the seeds. And if you can do a little bit of it every day and have a little corner in your house, if you're a painter or an illustrator, drawer, or any kind of other arts, make sure you do a little bit every day and set that time aside as a commitment. Yeah. As if you've booked an appointment with somebody.
Nice. That's brilliant.
Because what I found that months would go by and I hadn't even picked up a paintbrush before I really dove into the painting. Oh, really? And because life got in the way, I had so many excuses, so many other things. Yeah. And for me, I always put my own stuff aside and pushed it aside. And, you had to do stuff with the kids and all those other very important things in your life. But just take a little bit of time for yourself. And then eventually you add up an hour here every day. Yeah. Or even a half an hour. The end of the week, you have 2.5 hours and you can do a little drawing or something and have something actually completed. Yeah. Oh, that's great. Yeah. Huh. That's inspirational. Oh, well, I'm glad. It's like you look surprised, but it's those little things, man. Like, I love your question actually, because I remember listening to CBC and they're interviewing older people that were living to be, well into their 90s and hundreds and, or 100 and just over 100, not hundreds. Into their hundreds. That's amazing. But they were, they asked that question. If you had a word of advice to somebody, for longevity or just how to live life. Yeah. What would it be? And it was this older person, I think she was 95. She said, I wish I just did not worry about so many things along the way. Oh. Things just happen, And sometimes I think we let our ego get into that too much, where we think we have so much control over everything. Right. So many unknown variables. How can we be, these peons in the whole universe and, so many millions, billions of people on Earth, how could we have so much control? Right. Yeah. So, hubris. Exactly. Just, take it in strides, and sure, we can manage your day-to-day stuff, but sometimes those things don't even happen the way you like it to, right? Or that you think it should. Sometimes you have to just go with the flow. Mm-hmm. Stop shitting all over everything, right? Yeah. Did you say shitting? Shitting. Should have done this. Should have done that. You should do this. You should do that. I should do this. Stop shitting. I love it. On that note, Cecile Albi, thank you so much for joining me on the show. You are a wonderful guest. And thank you. Fantastic artist. And I can't wait to see more of your work. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. You can find out more about every one of our guests in the show notes at therebelrebelpodcast.com. And don't forget to subscribe to The Rebel Rebel wherever you get your favorite podcasts. I'm your host, Michael Dargy. Thank you so much for listening.